I'm Kathleen Sams with Red Heart Yarns, and I want to talk to you today about weaving in your ends on a knitted fabric. First, we're going to start with the needles that can be used. There's a lot of different ones out here, and I've got 3 different ones to show you. This is plastic. It comes in great colors, very flexible, easy to travel with, works great even for a seaming pin. Then we have our steel blunt end, and then we also have another steel blunt end that has a curved tip, which is also really great. I like to use the blunt end, so that's what we're going to work with today, and we're going to start on our stockinette fabric. Now, when you're working on stockinette stitch fabric, that's where you have knit and purl. We're going to be weaving in our ends on the back side, which is, of course, where you see all these little seeds or bumps. Now I'm going to use a different color yarn here just to show you how easy this is to weave in your ends so they're not going to come out. Now you would start with the yarn that the end that actually is attached to your piece, but I'm going to use a different color just to kind of show you how this works. We're going to follow the stitches. So say we're coming in here on the side, we're going to pull our yarn through, and then we're going to follow that stitch. You see where that bump goes? Through there and then back down in to the stitch that you just pulled the yarn through. And it's almost a weaving technique. Then we're going to follow this back around again. See right here. Insert your needle into that next little bump and then back up into the stitch again. Pull. Follow this stitch around. Then back down in here. Let's just go across a few stitches. Then we come up here again, and let me just see, there's that. We'll come in here. All right, now, and you can see, you really can't see this even though I've used another color. You can barely see this on the other side, so as you're weaving your yarn in, it's not going to show, and you should weave this across at least 1.5 inches to make sure that it's going to hold. And then you just come back and like that, and that will, you can clip your yarn. The same thing holds true if you're using a garter stitch, because it's the same type of seed, so you're going to be following again. You follow the direction of your stitch to weave in. Now we have a rib stitch. So it's knit 1, purl 1, or 2 by 2, which would be knit 2, purl 2, which is what I've done here. And what I like to do on this one, the great thing I like about this stitch is that it's the same front and back. So you don't have a right side and a wrong side. And what I like to do is just bring this through. And then what I'll start doing is taking my needle and actually picking up the edge of the stitch like this. And you're just working it through very carefully. Pull that just a little bit, straighten it out, and then come back down this way. And then you can clip it. And that's going to hold your end in, so you can't see any difference. Now the last thing, again, if you have 2, 3, 4 colors, additional colors adding on, one of the things that you're always told is never, ever, ever tie knots. Well, this is the one time where I do put a loose knot or a soft knot on the end where the colors have been changed. And I do the same thing right there with the color that's been added. I tie a soft knot. And again, I start doing the same thing where we're going to follow the stitch, weave that in, and you're never going to see, and it comes back through this one. And you just keep weaving these across that way. And that's how simple it is to weave in your ends.